Pleasure to talk to you, Matthew. I enjoyed the film a lot, and it felt to me like it was the right fusion of all the genres that you like. Is it the right impression?
It's 100% correct impression. Well done.
Tell us a little bit why, you love spy movies, you love comic books.
Because they're entertaining, they're fun, and I thought spy movies become way too serious. I think Bourne's great films, really great, but they're not exactly a bundle of laughs. You don't come out with a smile on your face. And they're not the sort of movies you want to, well, for me, want to go back and watch. But when I was a kid and I watched the spy movies, you literally wanted to buy a ticket immediately and watch it again and go on the ride. So I thought it was time to recreate, but in a more postmodern way, the old spy films I grew up on.
Do you always think about tone when you're directing those kind of films?
The whole movie. That's the hardest thing with this film it was a tonal balance nightmare. I mean, if we didn't want to be Austin Powers, we didn't want to be too gratuitous with violence, we didn't want to be silly, but we didn't want to be serious. It was a balancing act.
Yeah, no, I think it worked very well. I think the choice of characters helped a lot. Actors that knows what self-deprecation is and they know how to be serious. So just a little bit tell us, about Colin Firth and how, multi-layered he can be in his performances.
He's a fantastic actor. So, the only big question was, could he do the action? And I said, you're going to have to train very, very hard. And he did. And he pulled it off.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Talking about the action, some scenes have, extravagance to them that only technology can help. Tell us a little bit about how you work with technology and how fascinated you are with how it can help the directing job.
Well, I try to do everything I can in camera. I think is really important. When I was watching all the old spy films, I was thinking how much they hadn't dated, and the reason being they did it for real. So it just carries on looking real, and so weirdly, apart from a few things like exploding heads and stuff, which you can't do for real. Although we did do a lot of references, we did blow up heads in slow motion and figure out the looks we wanted to create. But I think technology is exciting, but it should be used to enhance, not to drive a movie. I think a lot of films, they're too CG heavy, they're too about the effects, and they forget that if you don't have a story and a character, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely. The material you direct is always so original. Where does the initial idea usually stem from in terms of inspiration? You'd be like sitting somewhere and something gives you an idea? Well, obviously Jane.
Yeah, well, this came from Mark and I sitting in a pub, having a drink, and actually...
Mark Strong?
Mark Miller, who did the comic.
Okay, yeah.
And just saying, we were just discussing, going, God, what's happened to the fun spy movie? And then he said, I've got an idea for a villain plot. And I went, oh, boom, I could take a kid. And then we said in America, and literally after 2 hours, the story was done.
Nice to have a coffee with you.
Guinness.
Yeah, of course.
Guinness, much better than
coffee.
A
nice pint of Guinness.
Pint of Guinness, yes.
As one of the characters say in the film.
That's why I put Guinness in there, because the movie was born over a pint of Guinness.
And obviously there's reference to, those beautiful vintage films, spy movies. So which ones have been your favorites that, still resonate with you today?
Well, all of them, but Spy Loved Me had a big impact because it was the first spy movie I saw in the cinema. Man from U.N.C.L.E., In Like Flint, big impact. I thought James Coburn was amazing. All of them, even the spoof Casino Royale, Austin Powers, all of them, every spy movie ever made, we watched them all and was wanting to celebrate them all.
How important is it to be a cinephile, to be a good director, in your opinion?
I think it's essential. I think it's disrespectful to all the other films ever made. I think you have to watch movies, learn from them, push the boundaries, don't just copy them. But well, for me, it's essential. That's how I learned how to direct, was watching everything that gets made. I've spent my life watching films.
And finally, the Oscar nominations are out today. Being, movie lovers, you are. Which movies have you enjoyed watching most and are worthy in your book?
I think most of the movies that are worthy aren't getting nominated. I don't understand about Oscars anymore. That it seems to be if you're a low-budget television movie, you get an Oscar nominated, and it's very easy to make those films. You just put a camera like that and you finished the dialogue? Great, now let's change the lens. Are you done? Great. It's not difficult. I mean, I'd love to see some of these guys try and do Guardians of the Galaxy, Gone Girl. You know, films which are technically very, you know, even Interstellar, you know, Nolan's been ignored for way too long by the Academy, because these are, you know, those are movies, and I just think the Oscars have got to start celebrating cinema and for what people are watching, not just for what they think are worthy films. So, so I probably shouldn't have said all that, but
no, that's a great answer.
That's
and
how
I agree.
feel.
Guardians of the Galaxy is also one of my favorite films.
You mean to make someone care about a tree and a raccoon?
Yeah.
That is a lot harder than making someone care about a guy in a wheelchair.